Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Joanna Encolensis of the OST6, your session host for today. We have come to the final session of the National Science and Technology Week Celebration 2020 with the theme Agham at Teknolohiya, Sandigan ng Kalusugan, Kabuhayan, Kaayusan at Kinabukasan. Over the years, the DOST consultancy programs have helped MSMEs increase productivity, improve product quality, and implement food safety practices, among others. Today, we have invited one of our seasoned consultants under manufacturing productivity extension to share the challenges and success stories in providing technical consulting services to MSMEs and the evolution of MPEX consultancy over the years. Before we proceed, at this point, Ever Dynamic Regional Director of DOST6, Engineer Rowan Argelonga, will give his opening message.
Let me first acknowledge DOST Secretary Fortunato de la Peña and all the members of the DOST family, our resource person, Engineer Baby Lim, our partners both from the government and private sector, and of course, to our micro, small, and medium enterprises or MSMEs to whom this event has been specially organized. Today, our focus of attention is about enhancing the productivity of our MSMEs in general and about MPEX in particular. MPEX is really a legacy project for the DOST. We consider this as essentially one of the precursors of the Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program or SETUP. Just a few days ago, we have officially launched the newest version of SETUP, which is SETUP 4.0. Among many others, SETUP 4.0 is intended to transform our MSMEs and make them ready for Industry 4.0 amidst the many challenges that they are facing now and in the future. But it is worthwhile to note that it traces its roots to MPEX, which was the brainchild of our very own DOST Secretary when he was then the director of the Technology Application and Promotion Institute or TAPI. We are aware of how important the MSME sector is to our economy. They employ about 64% of our labor force. But when it comes to contribution to our gross domestic product or GDP, MSMEs only contribute 36%. What does this mean? This means that the per capita productivity of our MSMEs is low. Just imagine, therefore, if we are able to increase the productivity of our MSMEs. 99.6% of business enterprises in the Philippines are classified as micro, small, and medium enterprise. Just imagine if we are able to boost their productivity by even a minimum of 5%. This will significantly improve the GDP and the economic performance of the Philippines. This is the reason that DOST implemented MPEX, and as mentioned earlier, it initiated the development of other programs. We are still implementing MPEX under SETUP, but starting next year, we will further transform the program so that we will be able to zero in to focus on specific areas where MSME productivity can be improved. Let me end this message by thanking all of you for attending this event as we wrap up the National Science and Technology Week celebration of the DOST. I hope that this will be a productive learning as well as networking session for all of us.
Thank you so much, Engineer Hilonga. So our consultant is accredited under OneExpert or 1E. 1E is one-stop shop facility for the provision of S&T services of experts and consultants. It is a nationwide network of S&T experts, trainers, resource persons, consultants, and or subject matter specialists, and online portal and website for accessing experts and services. For questions later regarding the presentation and to know more about OneExpert, please visit oneexpert.gov.ph. So our speaker is an industrial engineer and registered ASEAN engineer. She has been engaged in more than 1,000 DOST consultancy services and projects, and with more than 20 years of experience in providing technical assistance involving manufacturing productivity, not only to individual firms, but also to industry associations and government organizations nationwide. Let us all welcome Engineer Baby Arlene.
Thank you, Joanna, for a very generous introduction. It is indeed both an honor and a privilege to be given this opportunity to speak here in front of you as DOST celebrates the National Science and Technology Week. Secretary Honorable Fortunato T. de la Peña, Ms. Brenda L. Nazareth Manzano, Undersecretary for Regional Operations, Dr. Renato U. Solidum Jr., who is currently the Officer in Charge, Office of the Undersecretary for Regional Operations, Undersecretary for Scientific and Technical Services, Dr. Rowena Cristina L. Guevara, Undersecretary for Research and Development, Regional Directors, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good morning to all. My topic for today would be enhancing MSME productivity. Quickly, the outline for today's sharing would be the background of the Philippine MSMEs, what MPEX is really all about, the journey of MPEX milestones all through these years, and a few things to remember for MSMEs, consultants, and MPEX in Setup 4.0. Let me set the tone for today's sharing in one word, and that is change. According to Winston Churchill, to improve is to change, and to be perfect is to change often. DOST, therefore, introduces change to these MSMEs in order for them to improve their operations and their productivity. But before anything else, let's have a quick review of the background of the Philippine MSME. They are categorized either by asset or by number of employees. In terms of capital, if you have a capital up to 3 million, you're considered as micro. Small is 3 to 15 million, 15 to 100 million is medium, and above 100 million is large. For the number of employees, 1 to 9 is considered as micro, 10 to 99 is considered as small, medium is 100 to 199, and large is more than 200 employees. Let me share with you a compilation of the common problems that we have all through the years working with MSMEs. For the food industry, number one very obvious problem is non-compliant to processing facilities and HACCP concerns. This is understandable, especially for micro and small facilities. Process and product standards are not established. Example, we take a look at the producing or the production of a calamansi juice. This certain calamansi juice may be sweet today, may be a little bit sour tomorrow, and may be a little bit bland the next day. That is normal for a micro facility who produces the calamansi juice because product standards are not in place. Improper costing and no monitoring. Most of the time, when we interview business owners on how they come up with the cost of their product, they look up, they look sideways, they look down, and we know they do not know or they are not sure of their answer. If they are not sure of the answer of their costs, how much more for their sales? They have limited access to equipment. They do things manually, which is very time-consuming and labor-intensive. We also have a lot of safety concerns. They touch food with their bare hand. They wear jewelry while working. they wear watches while working, and so on and so forth. Improper production monitoring and materials management. When you ask them how many stocks are left in their raw material storage, they cannot give you an answer. When you ask them if they are monitoring the usage of raw materials, they cannot give you an answer. Or sometimes they simply say no. They're not monitoring it at all. Housekeeping issues also abound. Absence of documentation and recording. They cannot tell you how much their sales is for the month or for the year. And they also have a hard time telling you how much their net income is for the year. Owners and employees have not undergone any training because of the lack of resources. Improper waste and pest management control is also another problem, and sometimes they even get into trouble with regulatory agencies of the government, such as the DENR. First in and first out is not practiced, or another system that you have introduced to them is the first to expire, first out. No production planning and control. So overstocking and overproduction is also noted. And sometimes out of stock also happens. Meaning, hindi na makaproduce ng produkto kasi they did not know, they only find out at the same day na wala na palang flour, na wala na palang mantika, na wala na palang itlog. So you have to run and purchase to be able to produce. And that, of course, is a waste of time. And the last, which is the most common for all MSME, is that owners lack administrative and people handling skills. A common problem of MSMEs under this category is that they consider their piece rate workers, or yung pakyawan system, they do not consider them as their employers, as their employees. And we always explain to them that these people who come in to work in your facility, no matter what their status is, whether they are pakyawan or whether they are there for only a week, whether they are contractuals, all the more if they are regular employees, they are their employees. Because whatever happens to that employee to that person within your facility, even if pakyawan lang siya, or he's just there for a short time, 1 week, 2 weeks, still that person is your responsibility. Therefore, he is your employee. Kasi kung may mangyari sa kanya doon, kung madisgrasya siya, ang employer, ang business owner, ang mananagot sa kanya. Therefore, he is bound to follow the rules and regulations of the employer whenever he is inside the facility. Kasi, ang sinasabi nila sa amin, kasi ma'am, hindi kasi sila regular employees hindi kasi sila regular employees namin, so we cannot enforce the rules and regulations. We cannot force them to follow rules and regulations, which is totally wrong. Diba? Okay, we proceed now to fabrication and manufacturing industry. These are the non-food also. Common problems are improper costing, process and product standards are not established. So sometimes you see a chair that's too low for Asian standards, or you see a chair na yung backrest is nakatayo siya, or it's in the wrong angle because product standards are not established. Kasi for furniture, meron kasi tayong standards dyan, and we have to follow the standards. We have standards for Asian furniture. We have standards for Western furniture. And another problem is that there is no production planning and control, leading to delayed deliveries. And sometimes irate customers. Informal monitoring of costs. Buti na lang kung may informal, kung minsan wala talaga. Hindi nila alam kung magkano ginastos nila for that project. Hindi nila alam kung magkano kinita nila. Walang documentation. Limited access to state-of-the-art equipment. They do things manually with their own hands, which is again, waste of time and very unproductive. Occupational health and safety concerns abound in metals fabrication, the furniture, and the non-food manufacturing industries. Ang daming safety, health and safety concerns. Kung minsan, ang dami ding accidents that have happened that could have been avoided if occupational health and safety were of primary concern. Improper inventory and materials management leading to losses, wastage, and damages. Poor energy management leading to mataas na electric bill. Underutilization of machineries and equipment. Ito, malaking problema to. Sometimes, a company buys an equipment na mataas yung power requirement. So, bilhin na nila yung equipment only to find out that it's going to need pala, kasi mataas yung power requirement niya, it's going to need a transformer. And a transformer is going to cost you 300 to 800,000 depending on where you are in the Philippines. And of course, with that, bumili na nga sila ng equipment, wala na silang pambili ng transformer. The equipment purchase becomes a white elephant. Maintenance program is not established, leading to unscheduled breakdown of machines, unclear division of labor. Kung minsan, mga akala-akala ito eh. Akala ko kasi siyang gagawa. Yun. Kasi the division of labor is unclear and the absence of job description is also noted. And then, of course, common to all manufacturing, micro, small, and medium, absence of documentation and recording. And then again, same problem with food processing industries. Owners lack administrative and people handling skills. What about the service industry? Pare-pareho lang eh. Improper monitoring of costs, absence of documentation and recording, improper costing of services, process standards are not established. Kung minsan, short yung lead time, kung minsan mataas yung lead time kasi iba-iba yung processes, informal operating systems, may mga safety and occupational health concerns din, of course, insufficient training due to lack of resources, and again, owners lack administrative and people handling skills. Now, why are we focusing on MSMEs? Bakit hindi kasali si large enterprises here? Why? The answer is clear. For large enterprises, operational systems are in place. Established na din yung organizational structure nila from top to middle to the first line supervisors. And then, established na din yung product and process standards nila. All types of monitoring are also in place. And of course, they have the resources to hire a consultant of their choice. So given all these problems and these challenges that our MSMEs are facing, paano ba ito ina-address ni DOST? Okay. Papasok na si MPEX. MPEX is a consultancy program of DOST whose objective is to improve the efficiency and the profitability of MSMEs. In layman's term, DOST hires a consultant, and these consultants, together with DOST people, visits the firm enrolled in the program, takes a look at the operations, observes, does analysis, finds areas for improvement, presents it to the business owner for implementation, and comes up with recommendations and interventions for recommendation. So through this program, Better products and services are produced, operational expenses are reduced, productive and safer workplaces are achieved, and more appropriately skilled manpower is developed by our dear MSMEs. So what are the priority intervention areas? Marami, 14 itong areas na to eh. Capacity utilization, product design and packaging, product planning and control, materials management, quality assurance system, financial systems and control, machine and equipment utilization, cleaner production technologies, safety and housekeeping, layout, human resource utilization, processes and operations, energy audit, and materials management. Whew, ang dami. Ang dami, no? So what does this tell us? Ibig sabihin, our analysis, our assessment, DOST's assessment is holistic. It takes a look at all facets of operations, technical, production, human resource management, admin, financial, everything. Wala tayong mamimiss. Lahat pakikialaman natin. Lahat titingnan natin kung ano pang pwedeng ma-improve in those areas, and then we come up with recommendations. So, the evolution of MPEX, it's been here for about almost 30 years already. It started in the 1990s and was offered only to exporters. In the year 2000, DOST realized that they should also start offering it to micro, small, and medium firms. Kasi sila naman talaga nangangailangan ng tulong eh. So who are these MSMEs again? They could be a sole prop, sole proprietorship, corporation, cooperative, and association. If you fall under any of these 4 categories, then pasok ka. Or you could be metals, food, ICT, GHD, furniture, microelectronics, garments, natural fibers, and fashion accessories. So from 2000 up to the present, DOST has been offering these to all these types of MSMEs. In 2017, the accreditation of consultants under OneExpert happened, meaning lahat ng consultants ina-accredit na ng DOST under one program which is called OneExpert. And you will find all sorts of experts there that are accredited by DOST. In 2020, come this pandemic called COVID, consultancy services continued, and they are provided both on-site and remote, meaning virtually. So tuloy tayo kahit may pandemic. Tuloy pa din yung assistance ni DOST. My MPEX journey as a consultant. In the year 1996, I started as an MPEX consultant in Region 7, DOST 7. I was still teaching at that time at the University of San Carlos Technological Center, Industrial Engineering Department. In 2007, Summit Consultancy and Research Services was created under the encouragement and inspiration of the late Director Renbert Lianto. SCRS MPEX team was created then. In 2009, we opened our doors for other regions. TAPI hired us to do MPEX in other regions, such as Mimaropa and Bicol region, and at the same time train local consultants. From 1996 up to the present, fast forward to the present, we were able to serve about 10 regions already, which covers 4A, 4B, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, and 13. However, in the last 2 years, only 8 active regions were served, such as 4A, 4B, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, and 13. From 1996 to up to the present, a total of more than 1,000 MSMEs have been evaluated, assisted, assessed by my SCRS MPEX team. So for the interventions, what are the interventions that we gave our clients? materials management, energy management, waste management, equipment and machinery upgrade, packaging and labeling, food safety, cleaner production, halal, 5S, GMP, financial management, TPM, production planning and control, lean management, and of course, safety. So let us go to the challenges faced by our dear MSMEs in implementing our recommendations or our interventions. There's limited access or no access to the new technology at all. Technology could mean an internet line, a good network connection, or updated machines and equipment. And then limited access to new equipment. They do not know where to buy it or if such equipment exists. And again, another one is low educational attainment of owners. Sometimes they become insecure when we do the visit because sinasabi nila, ma'am, ano lang naman ako, ma'am, elementary graduate lang kasi ako but we always tell them that educational attainment is not a hindrance to being progressive and to be at the top. No matter what educational attainment you have, as long as you have a progressive mind and you are willing to continuously improve yourself, you can always be competitive. Low educational attainment of workers. This is a major challenge because you really have to make your workers understand that change is necessary for you to be competitive. So they are very hard to teach. Kailangan mo talagang, you really have to empower them, to explain to them why this is necessary. Majority are on a one-man show. The organization is very lean. And some of the functions, kasi sa kanila lahat, sa kanila yung purchasing, sa kanila marketing, kung minsan tumutulong pa sa production. So some functions are left behind, especially the strategic functions. Limited access to better support for infrastructure. Mahirap ang pag-transport ng mga products. Mahirap ang pagbili ng mga packaging materials or raw materials. Like when we go to Palawan, what they always say, ma'am, ang hirap kasi ng logistics dito because everything has to come from Manila. So that's it. We also have clients in other areas in 4A and 4B, wherein we really have to cross rivers. We really have to in Mindanao also, we really have to cross, magsakay ka pa ng barko, ng motorsiklo. We call it in Visayas, the habal-habal. Can you imagine kami going to the visiting the MSMEs? Sumasakay kami ng habal-habal. Ang saya, di ba? And then, of course, attitude of owners. Yung iba, they feel that they don't need to improve anything anymore. Meron talagang mga ganon it's very sad to know, but meron talaga. And then, ability of owners to manage change. Kasi nga kung minsan, medyo alanganin sila or wala silang self-confidence. You really have just to build their self-confidence. And budgetary constraints, resistance of employees to change, health and personal reasons. Kung minsan nagkakasakit din yung owners, hindi naman sila robots. And eto, natural and man-made calamities. Just the other day, nagmo-monitoring kami virtually sa mga sa mga ina-assist natin sa Mimaropa. It's 4B. And 3 beses silang tinamaan ng 3 bagyong dumaan. Si Quinta, si Rolly, at saka si Ulysses. And it's very heartbreaking listening to their sharing na naubos talaga lahat. Naubos talaga lahat ng nila. Naubos talaga lahat ng ari-arian nila. And you just have to encourage them and to tell them that it's just property, it's just importante buhay tayo, and we just have to rise above these difficulties and babangon at babangon tayo. And of course, time management. Kasi nga, most of the time, one-man show sila, mahirap sa kanila to manage their time. Kasi marami silang ginagawa eh. Ginagawa nila lahat. Now let's go to happy stories, success stories of our MSMEs. These success stories are a result of the benefits and the impact of our interventions. And first is the production planning and control, standardization, improved quality of products, better management, better energy management, better controls of materials inventory, more compliant waste management, hindi na wala ng penalty, more up-to-date and high-tech machine and equipment, food safety and compliance, FDA approved na, improve attitude of workers and improve productivity, better financial management and control. They already have a better understanding of how the working capital works, na dapat pala yung natatanggap natin as business owner, the money that we receive as sales, hindi pala sa atin lahat yon. Dapat natin pinapaikot. Kasi kung hindi natin pinapaikot, walang babalik sa atin. Packaging and labeling improvement, more accurate product costing, and higher profitability. Now, allow me to explain more about these benefits and impact by giving you concrete examples of the success stories of our MSMEs. So, in terms of PPC and standardization interventions, these are the concrete examples that we have. The provision of a working drawing increased the production lead time of a certain fabricating company from 45 days to 30 days. That's a very big increase in production lead time. And all because we just provided a working drawing. Bakit? Bakit kaya nagkakaganito? Kasi without the working drawings, delays are expected. Bakit? Kasi yung certain tao na marunong kung ano yung technical specification ng product, hindi kasi siya all the time nasa production. Kung minsan lumalabas siya, may mga other assignments din siya. So in his absence, naghihintayan, nagtatawagan, ang nangyayari, delayed yung production. But with the provision of a working drawing na pwedeng balikan, that would serve as a guide and reference for all fabricators, then we were able to reduce the production time from 45 days to 30 days. Another is the installation of a PPC group for a certain metal stamping company. This is in Cebu. I remember this company very well. This is in Cebu. They were able to increase 80% of their on-time delivery rate. Kung dati parati silang nalilate sa mga commitments nila on the date of delivery, the installation of a production planning group increased that by 80%. Amazing, isn't it? Next is the production yield monitoring. What's production yield monitoring? This is very simple. Tingnan nyo muna yung impact. That's an impact of about 2.3 for an estimated of 22 products. How did this happen? Okay, let me give you a specific example para ma-imagine nyo kung paano ito nangyari. Let's take the pandesal. Okay, your pandesal na ginagawa mo every day, for example, will give you a yield of 200 pieces. Okay, that's your expected yield. Now, magkano yung actual yield mo? That's a very important question. Let's say yung yield mo na actual is just 150 compared to your expected yield of 200. So that means you are losing 50 pieces of pandesal for every batch that you make. Diba? Ngayon, the next question is, ilang batches ng pandesal ang ginagawa mo? Okay lang kung isa sa isang araw. E paano kung 10 sa isang araw? So how many are you losing? That's 50 times 10. You are losing 500 pieces of pandesal every day. Pandesal lang yan. How much are you selling the pandesal? Halimbawa, sabihin na natin, 5 pesos for 500 pieces. How much are you losing every day? You're losing 2,500. If you're losing 2,500 every day for 30 days, how much are you losing already in a year? And pandesal pa lang yun. Kung minsan, 22 products ang ginagawa mo tulad ng tulad ng kliyente natin. So that's why monitoring of the production yield and comparing the actual yield with the expected yield is very important, especially for high volume products. Next is interventions for quality control, materials handling, and scheduling. Okay, the first company that I want to share with you is the provision of a push cart. Very simple, isn't it? But what is the impact? The impact of this is improved yield by 25% and a corresponding savings of, hindi ko makita. Siguro makita nyo. Provision of push carts. Let me share with you kung ano nangyayari. Kung bakit just the provision of push cart, we were able to have a savings of that much. Etong company na to is producing and using banana leaves in their production. So, when the banana leaves arrive, it is just dumped there and in the open area and placed under the heat of the sun. So, kung minsan, BCC production worker, kung minsan, nata-transfer ka agad siya in a shaded area, in a roofed area, but kung minsan napapabayaan siya doon, most of the time, napapabayaan siya doon sa labas under the heat of the sun. By the time it is transferred manually, hinahakot manually by the workers to a covered area, lanta na yung ibang banana leaves. Yung yield natin is kukonti na lang. So we decided to improve the system. Why not use a push cart? Mas mabilis yung paghakot, and then right after it is received, dapat ipasok na kaagad sa covered area, and we were able to come up with that savings. So you see, our interventions are not really, does not really involve rocket science. Sometimes these are just very simple interventions. Let me continue. Implementation of QC standards and proper monitoring, we were able also to decrease the rejects and bad orders by 70% and was able to save 25,000 per month. Kasi dati walang nagmo-monitor, walang nag-check. Excuse me. And then next is proper scheduling of collections and deliverables. And we were also able to save 12,000 per annum. Next, intervention on energy management and materials management. Replacement of biodiesel to biomass. We were also able to have a savings for this. Proper monitoring and provision of storage for raw materials, we were able to save 20,000 to 50,000 per month. Bakit? When you have a proper storage for raw materials, damages, pilferage, and wastage is avoided. All the more if you're going to monitor it. And then proper monitoring and control of raw materials, also were able to save about 180,000 to 100,000 per year for a certain company. Kasi kung hindi mo minomonitor kung anong raw materials na nasa production, na nasa storage area mo, there's a tendency for you to buy, and then hindi mo na nagagamit, meron pa pala doon sa storage area. Excuse me. And then ito, SOP, standardization, and energy management interventions. We standardized the process of washing the production area after production. So, anong nangyayari? this company produces kaong and fruit preserves. And we noticed that every time they wash their production area, at the end of the day, may mga workers na maaksaya sa tubig, meron ding conservative sa paggamit ng tubig, and my God, when you take a look at their water bill, it was really very high. So naisip namin baka pwede natin i-standardize yung washing operation so that everybody will follow the standard operating process of washing the production area at saka washing yung mga pinagamitan, the equipment, yung mga pots and mga stock pots and utensils and the floor, the entire work area. Bakit hindi natin i-standardize? So we did just that, and we were able to save about 330 per month, 3-month period. And that's about $1 million already if it's going to be annualized. Another intervention that we were able to introduce, very simple intervention, is may na-notice kasi kami na may isang operation, tuna producing company na yung hose nila continually flowing yung water, perpetually flowing yung water, and nasasayangan kami doon sa tubig na that was just continually flowing. So we suggested that bakit hindi na lang natin lagyan ng nozzle, and this nozzle you can also put a foot control, parang foot control na lang na aapakan mo, may button doon sa sahig na you just step on it if you want to use the water. And we were able to save 2,000 per month from the water consumption, and we were also able to save possible penalties from DNR if you consume so much water. So that's it. Another is the acquisition of a more efficient oven and with compartmentalized control that resulted to a savings of $360,000 per year, and the acquisition of a gasifier cooking stove, which resulted to a savings of $240 per month. Another intervention for energy management and food safety is the acquisition of an industrial steamer. We were able to reduce the steaming time by 60%. Ang laki ng savings natin. Just by acquiring a better equipment. And then there's also one company that we disallowed the charging of the cell phones kasi ang dami talaga niyang workers. This company has 60 employees, and some of them, 50% of them have 2 cell phones. And charging is allowed doon sa loob ng processing facility. Aside from this is a food safety concern, ang another concern din namin is yung paggamit ng kuryente. So nagtanong kami sa electric company doon, ang estimate nila is you're going to spend 20 pesos for every cell phone that you charge. So that's 20,000 times 90 cell phone, 20 pesos, times 90 cell phones times 26 days, that's a savings of 46,000 a month and almost $1 million a year. You see, simple interventions fitted for MSMEs. And you cannot say na mahihirapan sila na mag-implement nito because these are also fitted for micro, small, and medium facilities. Next is disallowing the use of cell phones during operations. Aside from being a contaminant, a food safety concern, we were also able to increase productivity. Dati yung output 100 packs lang, yung tinanggal natin yung cell phone, 150 packs per day na. Okay, ang laki ng in-improve natin. And then another for food safety intervention, we discontinued the use of Manila paper and newspaper for the drying and the draining operation. This increased the shelf life of products from 1 month to 3 months. We were able to increase it by 2 months. Okay, eto. Favorite story ko to. The provision of gloves. One of the IPs in the Sarangani province, I'm proud to say, these are the Tipolis. And they process abaca fiber. And pagdating namin doon, they do the crunching process with their bare hands. Alam niyo yung crunching process? It's parang lalabhan mo yung fiber ng abaca to separate it from each other. So gaganyanin nila. It's really the laba action, or in Bisaya we called it kuso-kuso. That's what they do. And we were just so we were wondering why are they using their bare hands? Of course, it's the only thing they know. And of course, the provision of gloves was able to increase their output. Kasi kung dati half day lang sila nagka-crunching, nung dinalhan namin sila ng gloves, pagbalik namin after a month, their smiles were already up to the ears and they were already very happy, and all of them had gloves already because they can do the operation on a whole day basis, and there we were able to increase the output from 100 to 300 kilograms of abaca fiber. Amazing. It was just amazing. And you could see their happy faces, and it was just so heartwarming. Next is proper monitoring of costs and correct product costing. We were able to avoid a loss of 675,000 per year. Now, the story of this company is that gumagawa siya ng micromixer. He was selling it at 95,000. Proud na proud niyan sabihin sa amin na yung competitors daw niya ay 120. Kaya sa kanya umu-order yung yung customers kasi mas mura yun sa kanya. So nagtaka kami, we were really wondering how come he was able to offer it at 95,000 when his competitors are offering it at 120. So review namin yung costing niya. Turns out, with the proper costing, yung product cost niya is 98,000. Lugi siya ng 3,000. So with the proper costing, we were able to help him avoid a loss of sales of 675,000 per year. So ayun, that answers our question. Kaya naman pala, doon sila lahat nag-o-order kasi mura siya. Wala nang kita, di ba? Kawawa talaga si MSME. Next is the improved productivity through increased output by the implementation of a quota system. Not just the implementation of a quota system, but better supervision, monitoring, and strict implementation of rules and regulations. So, kung dati gumagawa lang sila ng 40 pieces a day, after doing these interventions, they can already finish 200 pieces per day. Paano nila ginawa? Team-based, tamang oras sa pagpasok, less proper monitoring, work instruction, and ano pa bang ginawa nila? Less rejects. And of course, incentives. Pero ang laki ng in-improve, diba? Okay. What about other unquantifiable success stories? Home accessories. We were able to establish production standards. This one also is one of my favorite stories of the Blaans in the Sarangani province again. The IPs, the Blaans. These Blaans are producing mats out of romblon leaves. And when we went there, we noticed that yung small nila na mat, merong ganito ka lapad, meron ding small na ganito ka lapad, meron ding small na a little bit wider. And we were wondering, anong size nito? Small. Anong size nito? Small. Anong size nito? Small. Then, small silang lahat, pero bakit iba-iba yung sizes nila? Bakit yung iba mas wide, the others are wider, the others are hindi masyadong wide? So nagtataka kami, bakit ganito? So we were asking them, ma'am, kasi po, ano pong gamit natin in measuring? Are we using feet or are we using meters? So sabi nila, we're using feet po. Okay, can I see your ruler? Kasi nagtataka lang ako kung anong klaseng ruler ginagamit natin. It turns out, guess what? You would not believe me. They were using their feet, literally. That explains why may small na ganito kalapad, may small na ganyan, meron ding small na ganyan. So ano ang ginawa namin? Anong ginawa natin? Halika, may bench tayo. May dala kaming steel tape. So, eto, ano ba talaga ang measurement? Ilang feet ba talaga ang measurement ng 60? Okay, 6 feet. Sige, eto yung small natin. Eto yung medium natin. Ito yung queen. Eto yung family size natin. So, very simple interventions. We were able to improve and standardize the products. Another is measured customer satisfaction. Improved and documented processes. These are the intervention. Ano ibig kong sabihin? We taught the client documentation and measuring of customer satisfaction, documentation of mga customer feedback. And true enough, nung inaudit sila ulit nung kliyente nila, because there are some clients who really do audit for their suppliers. And itong supplier na to, yung kliyente natin, yung rating nila ay nag-increase during the audit due to our help. And this is going to result to more sales. And then the baked goods also, the installation of the production control and planning training that we did resulted to no more stockouts. And if there are no more stockouts, it means more products and consequently more sales. So I could do this the whole day, but time is limited. Let's go to the bottom line. Bottom line is costs and expenses of our MSMEs are decreased, profits are increased, and in between, our MSMEs are able to achieve business agility, compliance to regulating offices and government agencies. They are able to achieve customer focus, and of course, staff satisfaction is also achieved. Things to remember. For MSMEs, what does it take to join the roster of success stories? First is accept or acknowledge the fact that there is still something to improve in your facility. That is the first step. Next is to have an open mind and believe that there is always a better way. You should have a mindset of continuously improving yourself. Third is commitment. Next, do one thing at a time. It doesn't matter if it's small or big. Just do one thing or accomplish something every week. And then start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Because there will always be countless of todays, of tomorrows, and next months, and next week. So start today. Include your people and your support staff in your productivity initiatives. Make them understand that the change is needed for you to be more productive. Encourage and empower them. Do not be afraid to ask questions or guidance from the consultant or from DOST. Maximize the time while you are still in the program. And the last but not the least, embrace positive change. Okay, timetable for MPEX consultancy. It's generally done in a 6-month period. It starts with a data gathering, and then in the second month, the progress reporting. And then the progress reporting is actually just the presentation of the recommendations. After that, the implementation follows. And then on the 5th month, or on the 4th or the 5th month, but I would normally suggest we do monitoring on the 5th month so that the companies will have better time, will have a longer time in implementing the short-term recommendations. And then the 6th month is the submission of the final report. However, I would like to give an emphasis on the implementation of beneficiaries. The implementation of the recommendations should be for as long as your company exists. Kasi itong mga recommendations and improvements na ito na ibibigay namin sa inyo, hindi po ito para sa amin, hindi po ito para sa DOST, but this is for you. If we were a team and if this were basketball, if we were playing basketball, during the first month, the second month, the third month, papasa-pasa tayo ng bola kung minsan nasa amin, kung minsan nasa inyo. But on the 6th month onward, most of the time, yung bola nasa inyo na. And you have to do your share. You have to shoot the ball. You have to do your part. You have to give it your all and you have to give it your commitment. Otherwise, walang mangyayari sa ibibigay namin na report sa inyo. Walang mangyayari sa guidelines and templates and recommendations that we are going to give you. Okay, a few things to remember and that a few things that we have that TOST has realized in the past few years. Different companies have different needs and different companies require different basic interventions. Some are more advanced, some have simpler needs than the others. And other companies have specific needs that cannot be addressed by the current MPEX alone, such as lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, operations planning and control, enterprise management system, etc., etc. Recognizing this gap, DOST thought of launching MPEX in Setup 4.0. And in this Setup 4.0, ito na yung bagong programa ng MPEX natin, ng consultancy program natin for productivity. We have, of course, the basic productivity management, which is yung MPEX pa din na dati. And then we go to higher level consultancy programs, which are Lean, Six Sigma, Operations Planning and Control, and Enterprise Management System. And then we also have Basic Occupational Health and Safety and Occupational Health and Safety Management System. So, eto na ngayon yung bagong consultancy programs that can be offered to small, micro, medium enterprises. Conclusion. The journey of the MSMEs towards being productive is long and has just started. Why would I say it has just started? Because it's supposed to be a continuous journey towards improvement. Challenges abound, but the key is taking one step at a time with determination, commitment, and the passion to overcome any obstacle. And of course, the passion to continuously improve. To believe that what you are doing today and to believe that what you are going to do tomorrow should be better than what you are going to do today. It's the passion of continuously improving yourself. So now, ask yourself, what is your role in this program? Are you part of the DOST team? Are you a business owner? Are you part of the consultants team? Whatever your role is, do it right and do it well. Let me end my sharing with you today by telling you the starfish story. There was a man walking along the beach who saw a little boy from afar picking up something on the ground and throwing it back to the water. As the man drew near, he asked the little boy, "What are you doing?" The little boy said, "These starfishes are washed up by the tide on the shore, and I'm picking them up one by one because if they're going to stay out of the water for too long, they're going to die." The man said, "But there's lots and thousands of starfishes in the whole shoreline. What difference would it make?" The little boy continued what he was doing, picked up another one, and threw it back into the water. And then he looked up and told the man, "Well, I just made a difference on that one." My dear MSMEs, you are the starfish in the story. And if you only allow DOST to help you, one by one, we can all work towards a more productive and better Philippines. Thank you for the opportunity given to me by DOST, and thank you to DOST 6 for making this happen. I hope you all learned from the sharing that I've just given you today. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you very much, Engineer Lin. What a great presentation. If you would like to avail of expert services under OneExpert, please visit oneexpert.gov.ph. For S&T experts who would like to be accredited, please send your resume and application documents to oneexpert.ph@gmail.com. Please remember to sign in the attendance and evaluation form provided on the screen. Have a nice day, everyone.